knowing both games are different situations and different opponents, but what things did you see that maybe you made some strides in from the first game?
I thought we understood scout a little bit better today. Still need to clean a lot of that stuff up. Our young kids just need to get comfortable, understanding why we're trying to do certain things. But the biggest improvement we saw today was our connectivity on the floor with each other. Not just when things were going really good, but when things got hard. There was intent behind our huddles on dead balls. Our talk to each other was the right talk. We weren't turning our backs or walking away on each other when things got tough. Even there in the fourth quarter when we had some careless turnovers, we stayed as one unit. And if we can continue to do that, we'll get better. We'll keep getting better. I thought at UCLA, we struggled and our connectivity disappeared. And I thought today was a lot better. Not perfect, but a lot better.
How helpful was it that Madison got off to the hot start offensively to kind of push you guys out? But are those the things you kind of need from a veteran to start a game?
Yeah, I mean, we need that from Madison. She needed to, right, to see the ball go through the basket. And thankfully we had her there in the first half. She had, 15 of our 25 points at halftime or whatever it was. She always guards the other team's best player. She always understands the scout. She always does what she's supposed to do. Kind of wish she'd be a little bit more selfish and taking bad shots or maybe hunting some shots, especially on days like this. Y'all know me. If I was feeling it, I was chasing shots down, and so that's like kind of the next step for Madison. Not just when we run sets for her or try to run actions for her. It's her saying, "Hey, give me the ball. Let's go. I got this," kind of thing. And so she kind of kept us in the game there. And then I thought we did a better job of Mary Ashley and Caitlin just dominating the paint in the second half. Well, in the third quarter, the fourth quarter was pretty sloppy, and it took 45 minutes. So, but just much, much better.
Just quick assessment of Mary Ashley's first start.
You got what exactly you thought you were going to get from her. A lot of toughness, a lot of hustle, a lot of bonehead mistakes. You expect that. But she just brings a certain toughness about us, or there's a certain toughness about her that she brings to our ball club. And allows Caitlin not to be on an island there in the low block to start games. So, she'll continue to get better. Obviously, we're going to clean up the 4 turnovers and being strong with the basketball. I thought defensively she was actually pretty solid, trying to keep their guards out of the paint and walling up and boxing out and rebound. So she'll keep getting better, as will the other ones. I think our older kids, start to, just not just Mary Ashley. Okay, Rashonda struggled being there for Rashonda. McKenna struggled early with some scout stuff, being there for Kenna. Same thing with Emily Soph, and then Mila, Maya, same thing. We just got to make sure we're there for them.
You probably seen it in practice or when you were recruiting her for Mary Ashley, but for her to want the ball in the fourth quarter,
yeah,
when I think it's a 10-point game.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of sign is that for her and your team as you move forward?
Yeah, there's a reason why we recruited her really, really hard for 3 years. Because she's a gamer and she's a winner. And I don't think anybody on our ball club had a problem with us running an action to get her the basketball because we knew something good was going to happen.
No Jayla today? Is she okay?
Yeah, just nursing an ankle. I think she's tried to practice a couple times this week, just a tough one to go. And I don't think it would have mattered who we were playing today. I think today would have been a really tough game for her.
Coach, you mentioned just the level of intention that your team was having. What did you see, in that first half when maybe you were getting some of the open looks that you wanted but were struggling to hit, as far as like the details of that intention when, as you said, things weren't going well?
Yeah, I thought in the first half we did a really good job of getting in the paint. Abby and Rashonda, I just think sometimes their decision making wasn't the right decision there. I think on the very first play, or our first 3 points, I know Abby drove, kicks to Mads, three-pointer, and then the next play, Abby drives at Mads backdoors, gets another layup. And then I think, Abby and Rashunda, I think they thought like, hey, I'm by these guys, but then understanding that everybody was swarming to them and getting a hands with their scrappiness. So I think that's probably where you saw Abby and Rashunda struggle a little bit. I thought in the second half they were a little bit more calm, especially in that third quarter, getting to spots and kicking the ball out and just being a little bit more efficient on the offensive end. I can't imagine Abby and Rashunda going 4 for 19 again. I hope it doesn't happen because we're going to need those two to play really well for us to be successful.
I mean, it's a freshman and a senior, really playing together, really only for the second time. I mean, so as far as just them building that chemistry moving forward, is that just something that's gonna just maybe take some time? Like maybe we're just sort of in the dough phase instead of the crust phase right now with those two.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much spot on. We've got to continue to immerse, our young kids with our older kids and vice versa. Today at shoot around, we're in a circle, and we got the 99 team in the circle, and Mary Ashley asked a really, really good question, and they all kind of took some time to answer it, and talk about the challenges, but why they had so much success. And Camille mentions that, in that year they brought in 5 freshmen, and it took a minute, but it was the upperclassmen that really kept bringing those young kids along as the season evolved and getting more and more comfortable and more falling into their role and what that was for that ball club in '99. And I'm not saying we're chasing a national championship this year. Obviously, we're a very long way away from that. But I think those are the necessary steps for our ball club, and it was really cool to hear that from Camille today.
Madison Layton, I mean, the stats are for nerds like myself to chase, but she almost had herself a perfect day shooting. What is it about maybe what you want from her moving forward as far as chasing those shots, being more aggressive, but knowing the difference between popping a shot versus somebody who's maybe being a little bit too selfish with it? Like, how does she find that sort of happy medium, I guess?
Yeah, there's not going to be a lot of shots that Madison takes that I'm going to cringe. I know she knows that she's got the green light from us. She's just the coach's kid and tries to play the game the right way and doesn't like to force and do certain things. But I think for us to have some success, we got to put her in positions where she can kind of hunt some shots and give us opportunities to score.
I mean, this is a team that in the third quarter really hung its hat on the defensive end. I mean, forced 10 turnovers. Talking with Abby, talking with Madison, really shutting down those attacks to the elbow specifically. In a game where maybe your shots aren't falling all the way around the way you want in that first half, how much are you gonna look for your team to sort of just rely on its defense? Sorry.
No, you're good.
How much are you going to have your team rely on its defense in a game where maybe the shots aren't falling? You're going to have to, hang your hat on the defensive end.
I mean, I think you're spot on. I think we're going to go through some moments where it's not really pretty on the offensive end, and we've got to be a little grittier on the defensive end. Exactly what you're saying there. Basketball is so humbling that you can't always control when the shots go in, right? You can do your work and trust your work, but they don't always go in. But your effort defensively, your effort boxing out, your effort rebounding, if that never changes, then you don't have to worry about what's going on the other end. You can create turnovers and points. And I thought in the third quarter we did a really good job of that. And, I mean, we scored 30 points. Obviously, we struggled in the half court for 3 quarters, but it was that third quarter of us forcing some turnovers and getting out in transition and not having to play in the half court. Yep, you got it.
In the fourth quarter, you saw those turnovers add up with the full court press, and you took that timeout. What did you say in that timeout to kind of counteract that full court press that was messing you guys up a little bit?
Yeah, calm down. Imagine there's some volleyball lines on a basketball court and play inside the volleyball lines. They were running and jumping, so when we were coming up the sideline, it allowed them to have an extra defender because of the sideline. So just, let's play in the volleyball lines, because then if they run and jump, you can still get by them. I thought we did a better job Obviously, you just trust when JT has the ball. You trust when Madison has the ball. And but then, getting Rashonda and Abby and Kenna just to be a little bit tougher and stronger in those situations. But really good learning opportunities for us. A&M's not really a pressing team. But for back-to-back games, we've seen teams really pressure us and get after us. So we've just got to get tougher. Our guys have done a really good job in practices trying to emulate what we're going to see. A&M's more of a half-court team and really, really stingy in the half-court defense. So for us, to Ethan's point, we got to be able to create some turnovers for us to score in the open floor.
Katie, the national championship crystal ball now front and center when you walk into Mackey.
Yeah.
Even though it's been 25 years, how much value is there in having that for recruiting and just maintaining those relationships with those legendary players 25 years later with the current team? Yeah,
this weekend was really, really cool. Just being around those guys, hearing them tell stories, to 25 years later, they're still, reminiscing about not just the national championships, but the late nights, the hard practices, the tough moments to get them to where they wanted to go. I remember playing here that crystal ball was in the middle of the concourse, and you just kind of walked around, and every day you came into Mackey, and it's like, man, give anything to get one of those. And we never got there, but and for whatever reason during the renovation, and that ball has been up in our office, and Kelly and I were talking one day, like, we've got to get that thing back on the concourse. People have to see that. That's why you want to come to Purdue. That's why, we've got a very, very long way to go. But we told that 99 team today, like, they're the reason why we are here. They're the reason why I came here. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure we're making them proud.